Hey y'all, you ready to make the y'all pillow? Hey everyone, Cristin here. I'm still getting over the flu bug, so I don't sound great, but I'm feeling an awful lot better. I can breathe through my nose for the first time today in a long time. I'm excited to get started on the Merry Christmas Y'all pillow. So if you haven't already purchased your supplies, check below the video. It's got all the information for our sponsor, DayLily Fabric Shop, and our coupon code, and they have them in stock and ready to ship out. So we're going to start today with the Cactus block because it's a little bit more fun. I'm needing a little fun, and this one's got a lot of fun little applique pieces, so I think this will be a good one to start with. So for this block, we are going to need quite a few little pieces, but it's going to be a really fun block. So our main fabric is this white with red dots on it, tiny little red dots on it. And make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer. It's a big piece of fabric, and so you don't want to get puckering. So we are going to start with this at 8.5 by 12.5. 8.5 by 12.5 for the Cactus block. So that means it goes this way. 8.5 by 12.5, white with little red dots on it. And we are going to quilt it, so you're going to want a piece of batting. I usually say this part at the end, but just in case I forget. The batting is going to be 7 by 11. Sorry, my brain isn't fully functioning just yet, but it will be soon. 7 by 11 for your batting for when we do our quilting on this. So the other applique pieces, we have this green silky solid. This is for the Cactus. And I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. And this one, we're going to start with this at 5.5 by 9. 5.5 by 9 for the Cactus applique piece. Great green silky solid. And then we have various gift boxes and lights, and oh my gosh, so many fun things. Okay, and then for present one, we have this red Christmas stripes fabric. And again, I did back all of mine with fusible stabilizer. So this one is 3 by 2.5. It's for present one. All right, and you want to check the direction on your fabric when you're cutting this. There is a guide. I don't recall off the top of my head which page it was. I actually printed it out. But that guide helps you to tell which way to cut your fabric so that you get all of the use out of it and also the direction. So it's on page 8, and you can see it here, and it will help you to know the direction of your fabric. But you know, you can choose your own direction, of course, if you want. But anyway, so the red and green white stripe fabric, 3 by 2.5 for present one. And then present 3 is going to be the red houndstooth fabric, and backed it with fusible stabilizer. This one's a little bit larger. This one is 3 by 3. 3 by 3 for the houndstooth. You know, a little tip on the stripes fabric, there was plenty extra. You could cut it 3 by 3, and then you can decide the direction when you get to the machine. That's an easy way to bypass that issue if you wanted. All right, and then for the Sheriff's Star, we are going to have gold embroidery leather for the Sheriff's Star on the Cactus. This is going to be 3 by 3. We'll start with this at 3 by 3. Do not back embroidery leather with anything. Leave it just as is. 3 by 3 for the leather, and it's for the gold Sheriff's Star. All right, and then the black applique glitter. This is for present 2. We're going to take the topping off of it, and we'll use just the applique glitter. Look at that, I got it. Wow, I'm impressed. So before we do the embroidery, you don't need to do it right now, but right before you're going to use it, you want to make sure that to take off this sticky topping and just use the embroidery leather. It's not leather, sorry. It's vinyl, really. Glitter vinyl, that's what it is. Sorry about that. Black glitter vinyl, and this is going to be for present 2. And this one, we're going to start with that 3 by 2.5. 3 by 2.5. And then we have various lights. So on all of the lights, my pack came with them together. Like for instance, the green, it was one larger piece of green. And it looks like some of them, I think the only one that you'd have to separate is the gold. I'm not absolutely sure about that until we get doing it. But each of these, you want them to be one by one. So there's 2 of the green, 2 of the gold, 2 of the red. These are all glitter vinyls, and 2 of the blue. And like I said, they came together, and so you can probably maybe keep them together and lay them down, and there might be enough to cover both of the lights, but the gold looked like it might be a little bit further apart. So you could try it, and you'll know as soon as we start stitching, and I'll put notes on there too maybe. But anyway, so each of these, I ended up just cutting mine in half so that I have enough for each of the lights. But then you're trying to keep them situated where they are. So it might be easier to keep them together if the lights are not close together or are close together when we're embroidering them. All right, and then on each of these, don't forget, you're going to take off that sticky topping just like we did on the black. So red, gold, green, and blue, and 1 by 1 on each of those, and 2 of each of them. All right, and then that's it. That's all the parts that we need for this cactus block. So like I said, the batting is 7 by 11, and we are going to quilt this. We are going to use Western 1 in 6 by 10 design. Western 1 6 by 10. That's for our quilting. So if you're brand new to Kimberbell projects, this is a really good beginner project actually. And we are going to do the quilting. I'll show you all of the steps in pictures. It's very simple to do, to quilt in the hoop. We've all been doing it for a while now, and really enjoying the process, and excited that we can complete our own project by ourselves without having to send it out to a long arm, which is certainly an option if you prefer. But you do need to purchase the quilting bundle or use quilting designs that you already have. Each block I will tell you which quilting design that we're using from the bundle pack. When you purchase the bundle, like I mentioned in the announcement video, please use our affiliate link for our sponsor. It is down below this video, and like I said, our sponsor is DayLily Fabric Shop, so it gives a little kickback to them for sponsoring our project, and Kimberbell helps them by giving a little kickback to their shop whenever their affiliate link is used. It's still purchased through Kimberbell. You still go to the Kimberbell website, but that link below our video that has their affiliate link, it will take you directly to Kimberbell. So anyway, that works great, and we are going to do all the quilting for this. And let's go ahead and get started on the cactus plant. So I want to point out about hoop size again. I try to point this out at the beginning of every project in case we have any newbies. I am using my 7 by 12 hoop on our first block, which is the cactus block, and it is a 6 by 10 design. So you would think a 6 by 10 design would fit in your 6 by 10 hoop, but it doesn't. If you pull it up in software or even on your machine, it'll tell you the exact dimensions of the design, which is 6.5 by 10.5. And that ½ inch extra is just the steps 3 and 4 of the quilting design, which is the placement and tack down of the main fabric. And those are a ½ inch larger so that we have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side. So if your largest hoop is a 6 by 10 hoop, you can easily take out steps 3 and 4 in embroidery software. You literally click on step 3 and click delete on your keyboard. I've shown it a ton of times, and same thing with step 4. So that's the easiest. The other option is you can double hoop if you really want those steps 3 and 4, which, like I said, is the placement and tack down of the main fabric. Then if you really want them, then you would need to double hoop to be able to fit in a 6 by 10 hoop. And you could do what no brain activity here. I'd have to think about it for a second of which sizes to double hoop. But the other option is, like I said, taking out steps 3 and 4. And if you do that, you would just tape it in place instead of tacking it down. And that will work totally fine. In fact, I find that you don't even really have to tape it because the batting holds the fabric in place and you just watch it. But you know, everyone's got their own tolerance level of convenience, so you can certainly tape it in place or double hoop or whatever works. But this entire project can be done in a 6x10 hoop, but the quilting design, the 6x10 quilting design, will not fit in a 6x10 hoop unless you make the minor adjustment. And it's very easy to do. I don't know how to do it on my machine. It probably can be done. I always do it in software, and like I said, you click on it and click delete. Super easy. But I did hear from someone this morning actually that did this project in a 6x10 Bernina hoop, which is oval, and I think even with taking out steps 3 and 4, it didn't fit, if I recall from what she said. I don't know anything about Berninas, but what she said is she just reduced it by a tiny bit. I think she even said like 10%. I'm not sure. Small amount, and the design fit fine in her hoop. So I would think you need to do more than that if you're doing the quilting, because the quilting is 6.5 by 10.5. But anyway, Bernina hoop users, if you're quilting in the hoop, and even if you're not, the design may not fit in your oval hoop, but you can reduce it just a tiny bit and nobody's going to notice. So anyway, just a little information on hoop size. I am going to go with my 7x12 for this cactus design. One other thing is that we are going to do the quilting first and then do the embroidery design. In most of these blocks, I'm not sure if it's all off the top of my head, but most of them, they will be centered. So the quilting design, if you bring in both designs on your embroidery machine, they will automatically be centered. So you bring in the quilting design first, and then you bring in the design, you add it on, or do all of the quilting and then add on. There's several ways you can do it, or you can use software and merge the two, send them both to your machine. That works as well. Either way, the final outcome is the same. You will have quilting on the bottom and then the applique embroidery design on the top of the quilting. And I will show in photos how to do that. But like I said, I'm going to start at the first one. I'm going to just show it on the machine, how I bring in the quilting design and add in the embroidery design. But like I said, you can do that in software later. I will definitely do it on software because I find that the simplest. But for the easiest to understand, I will use the machine today and just show the buttons that I use to add in and have them both centered, and it's very easy to do that way as well. All right, for anyone new to the orange pop rollers, you're going to take your largest, the 8.5 by 10.5, and the middle one, which is 6.5 by 8.5, and nest them together. I start by doing the outer one and getting my 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side, and then I put the middle one in, nestle them together, and move it around enough that you can make sure to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side. I do this with my project right side down so that I can visually center and make sure that I have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we're going to start by, on the left hand side, if you're right-handed, you start on the left. And what I do is I push my rotary cutter down into the channel and against the side of the ruler. All right, and we're just going to do the left and the right side first with the 2 sets of pop rulers. So the left side down into the channel, pushing against the side of the ruler into the next channel, and then turn it around using your rotating cutting mat. And we're going to get the next side down here. All right, and once you have both the left and the right hand side, then we take off the middle ruler only, making sure that you still have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on the top and the bottom. And then we're just going to cut the top and the bottom. You can see, we'll go over this more, but you can see that we just cut the left and the right sides. So down into the channel, pushing against the left hand side of the ruler, and then rotate to get the top side here. All right, and then once those are done, you can take out your pop ruler, and both the ends will come off, but we have this little bit here with the channel, and I use my long straight edge ruler to straighten it out or to finish off the cut, and then cut those 2 sides. All right, and then you'll have your completed block with a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. Well, see, I knew that cactus plant would get us right back into doing our embroidery. So how about one more block? If you're up for it, I think it'd be fun. And this is a really, really easy one. So the Merry Christmas block. So did you already do all of your fabrics? If not, it doesn't matter. Either way, you can cut them as you go, or you can put them all in your packets and you just pull out that packet when you're ready. Either way works fine, but this one is super easy. There's almost nothing in our packet, so that means that it's a very easy block. So for this one, for the Merry Christmas block, this is the one that has the Merry Christmas Y'all wording on it. So we are going to start with our background fabric, and it is 12.5 by 6.5, 12.5 by 6.5. And notice it is a directional fabric, which is kind of funny because it really could go either way, but it is considered a directional fabric. So make sure to check the direction that you want your fabric to be. It is a white with light tan arrows on it, maybe. I'm not sure how else to describe it. And like I said, 12.5 by 6.5. And then we're going to have a piece of batting. And for our batting, it is going to be 10.5 by 4.5. And the way I always figure out batting is by taking the final cut size. So the final cut size is 10.5 by 4.5. So that means that our batting, sorry, I think I said the wrong thing. Our batting is 11 by 5. 11 by 5 for our batting. It's always a 1/2 inch larger than your final cut size or 1 inch larger than your quilt design. Either, whichever way works for you, but that's how I do it, is to base it on the final cut size. So batting 11 by 5. And then we're going to quilt this with plant 7. Plant 7 in 4 by 10 in vertical. So it's very important that you check when you go through the design options that you want to find the one that is vertical, because there will be a horizontal and a vertical on this one, and we're going to use the vertical. All right, plant 7 in 4 by 10 in vertical. All right, so I promise this is an easy one, and it's the last one today. So if you've done a lot of projects with Cristin Creates, you know I like to create a goal for every project. So I want to know what your goal is. My goal, the length of this project is just to stay healthy. Or to get healthier, I guess, because I'm obviously not super healthy right now with being sick and being run down. But so stay healthy, drink lots of fluids, eat healthy, get exercise if you're up for it. I'm not up for it yet. I'm not overdoing my body at all. And that's the biggest thing, I think, is don't run yourself down. It's almost the holidays. You need to build up strength and endurance and antibodies right now to be able to enjoy family and friends during the holidays. So do what you can to stay healthy. There's a lot of flu bugs going around, and of course COVID and all of that, but just be really, 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 really careful and know your body, listen to your body, get enough sleep, go to sleep when you're supposed to. So I'm up on my soapbox now, just telling you to not make the same mistakes I made. And sorry I'm chewing gum, but whenever I get a head cold, I want to gnaw my gums. The back of my jaw is like, I don't know what it's about, but if I chew gum, it makes me not wreck my gums back there. But anyway, so this is a different tutorial than usual. I'm working on getting healthy again, so that's my goal for this project. The entire length of this project is just getting healthy, staying healthy, and I hope that you're doing the same and listen to my errors that I made. I worked too hard during Sweetest Pie and stayed up too late and didn't take care of my body. And after all the cancer stuff, that should not have been priority. Priority should have been taking it easy and being kind to myself. So I am doing that during this project. I'm going to just fully enjoy Merry Christmas, y'all. And my shirt today is Joy to the World. This is an applique and embroidery originals design, I believe. Might be Alphalicious, actually. I'm not sure, but I will put a link under the video. But my niece and I made this. She did one and I did one, and I did a shirt tutorial on it as well. So I will add a link under this video with all the information.